بله سلام دختر خانم از بانوان گرامی، اگر از بدنهای جذاب بازیگران مرد هالیوودی خوشتون میاد حتما ادامه این ویدیو رو ببینید. و پسران عزیز، شما اگه میخواین انگیزه پیدا کنید واسه یه هیکل خوب، شما این ویدیو رو نگاه کنید. سلام دوباره، امیر هستم و خوش اومدید به کانال mr.hodii. اگه این اولین ویدیو است که از من میبینید خوشحال میشم منو سابسکرایب کنید، همینطور زنگوله هم فعال کنید تا اگه ویدیو جدیدی به اشتراک گذاشتم از اون با خبرش. اوکی، زیاد نمیخوام حرف بزنم، میخوام از بدنه زیبا لذت ببرید. بازیگر اولی که میخوام راجعش صحبت کنم کریس همسورت استرالیایی هستش که با بازی داخل فیلم‌های هوم اند اوی، A Perfect Getaway، تور، اونجورز معروف شده.
Is that real? Yeah, I wouldn't have spent 6 months in the gym. I read the comic books and noticed the character was 700 kilograms, so that's certainly a little bit of fire.
Were you doing push-ups before you went on air to record?
There was all sorts of, little dumbbell things, and everyone's standing around looking at you.
Getting the muscle pump.
That's you?
Not in this film, though.
Get it together.
Don't spend enough time doing this.
Look at you. So muscly and everything.
بازیگر بعدی کریس پرات هستش که داخل فیلم های گاردین آف دی گالاکسی و اونجورز معروف شده.
That's it. I only ate turkey. I just eat turkey every day with gravy. That's the problem, is people want to know what the secret is. The secret is you can't do it in a month. It takes 8 months or a year or a lifetime of consistency, working out every single day, and eating properly and truly feeding yourself, not starving yourself, but giving yourself proper nutrition to heal. You have to burn off all the crap you've put in your body, and then you have to replace it with really good food and fuel. Oh, I'm going to die. I'm so tired. Everything hurts. Running is impossible. Transforming yourself is really not hard. It requires consistency and dedication, and you have to be willing to sacrifice the things that you want. You have to trade things that are fun, like alcohol consumption, meals at restaurants, things like that, for, long, arduous periods of time exercising and physically exhausting and grueling work. I was capable of doing it. I think anybody could do it if they wanted to.
بازیگر بعدی تام هاردی بریتیش زبان ما هستش که با بازی داخل فیلم های بند آف برادرز واریور یا The Dark Knight Rays معروف شده.
carb depleting as well, so we were eating chicken and broccoli all day, nothing else, not had sweets. It was rubbish, man. It was horrible. It's unnecessary, and I don't know why anybody does it for a living. Punches would go through all the time, an elbow or a knee. Joel tore his meniscus. I took a few weeks off. I tore the ligament of my right hand. I broke my foot and cracked my ribs. And we were still fighting. And it was, it's like I'm an actor. This is too much.
بازیگر بعدی کریس ایوانس بانمک هستش که داخل فیلم های Not Another Teen Movie ببخشید که نگاه میکنم Not Another Teen Movie Fantastic Four کاپیتان آمریکا و اونجرز هستش.
Explain this. So for about 3 months we trained in Boston, and it was a couple hours a day, and it was brutal. The tricky part was eating.
You have to eat lots?
Just eating everything all the time.
That sounds awful.
See, you think it sounds nice, but it's not just like cheeseburgers. You have to eat like these just bland, naked pieces of chicken and rice, and it's not that appetizing.
Right.
You're just so full. It's a pretty uncomfortable feeling. You want to look,
pump the guns.
I want to look big. So every time they yelled cut, I'd run off set, and they brought some weights on the set for me. So every time we had a break in filming, I would run off and just start lifting weights. But as a result, you're working out pretty much the entire day for multiple days. So by the end of the sequence, I was exhausted.
بازیگر بعدی هم یه بازیگر استرالیایی به نام هیو جکمن هستش که نقش ولورین داخل سری فیلم‌های ایکس من.
My journey is that I began working at a gym behind the counter as the skinny guy, making fun of all the guys working out because I could see no point in what they were doing. So I was by no means that, and I think people kind of know that I was just a tall, skinny guy who had to kind of get into shape. The Wolverine diet is strict. It's about 4,000 calories a day, maybe 4.5 as I'm bulking up, and then it drops down as I'm leaning up. It drops down to about 3,500 calories. Not the fun calories. This is the chicken, fish, maybe steak. Always protein 6 times a day. Protein, steamed vegetables, and occasionally some brown rice or something like that. Protein shakes. And just like that, no alcohol, no sugar, pretty much nothing that's fun.
It's 5:45. We're at the gym. Focus! Come on. Come on.
بازیگر بعدی که میخوام راجعش صحبت کنم براد پیت هستش که میدونم خیلیاتون میشناسید. با این وجود فیلم‌های معروفش مثل تلما و لوئیس، میس اند مستر اسمیت، تروی یا فایت کلاب. صحبت کنم در فیلم ددپول، گرلنتر یا بلیک بازی کرده رایان رینولدز.
6 days a week he was in the gym, always up at 4 in the morning doing his weights. He had a trainer. He stuck to it religiously, and it always made me laugh because on Saturdays he was allowed to go and drink and eat as much as he wanted. He had the one day off during the week where he could do.
When you gain like 7 or 8, 9 pounds of muscle, you look gigantic.
Right.
بازیگر بعدیمون هم یکی از بازیگر بریتیش زبان هستش به اسم هنری کویل که داخل فیلم های ایمورتالز یا من آف استیل یا همون سوپرمن جدید بازی کرده.
Started out, I think his deadlift was about 245 pounds. After a period of time, he pulled 435. And it all came from hard work and discipline and paying attention to his diet and to his sleep and to his recovery. And ultimately, I think Henry Cavill is Superman. It's not easy for anyone, but that doesn't mean that it was painful. Obviously, there are times where he was cursing me under his breath, sometimes to my face, but it's expected. Having it be difficult, I think, makes the end result worthwhile.
Henry's work to get his body in shape also just evolved into getting his, say, his mind and spirit into shape.
It's not the kind of training which just makes you look pretty. It's the kind of training which, first and foremost, is useful.
Your perceived boundaries are not your actual boundaries. You can push way beyond those, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it all the time, but as long as you have someone who's very knowledgeable guiding you, then you can do it.
بازیگر بعدی هم یکی از جذاب‌ترین مرد 2 سال گذشته گمون کنم بوده. کسی نیست جو مگنانلو که داخل فیلم های اسپایدرمن یک سریال ترو برود یا کالکشن فیلم های ماجیک مایک بازی کرده.
I work out twice a day, 6 days a week when I'm training for a shoot like today or for True Blood or Magic Mike or any other project that I have. So it's a lot. If you want to put on empty weight, eat empty food. I always say I eat to build. So, I work out really hard in the gym and I eat a lot of protein in order to provide me with the building blocks to maximize that training. So there's no sugar, no carbs, no alcohol. So you have to cut out a lot of that fun, delicious stuff that most people really like.
I didn't have it easy, and I eliminated all of the excuses and just know that if I can do it, you can do it. Anything is possible.
میرسیم به آخری و از نظر خودم بهترین بازیگر تغییر سایز، کسی که لقب سلطان تغییر سایز داخل کل هالیود و کل تاریخ رو گرفته، کسی نیست جز کریستیان بیل، کسی که به بازی داخل فیلم های امریکن سایکو، فایتر، مشنیست، بتمن بگین یا همون سگانه بتمن که توسط کریستوفر نولان ساخته شده معروفه.
reasons why I thought, well, this movie couldn't really be made is because of the Trevor's character, the whole weight loss issue. And never in my wildest dreams did I think an actor would actually go to the lengths that Christian has gone to.
It feels great. It feels like a kind of a victory because I did kind of just emaciate and destroy myself, and you know, to the point where I kind of just watching me run is a joke because I just have no leg muscles or anything.
Watching this man walk around 120 pounds, not eating for weeks, I just didn't think it was possible.
I didn't eat. That was it.
When I first met Christian, he was extraordinarily thin, having lost an enormous amount of weight for The Machinist, which he was about to go off and shoot.
He did call me and say, well, you know, how do you look right now? You know, like, how am I gonna seriously be able to suggest to Warner Brothers that you could play Batman ever if, you know, you're that skinny?
Hey, perfect fit.
He then proceeded to put on a lot of weight in muscle terms and really try and bulk up because I had impressed upon him the idea that for Bruce Wayne to really fill that suit, he was going to have to be very, very large.
I was just stuffing my face all day long and lifting heavy weights and eating more, and eventually went up to like 220 pounds. I just listened to what he said about get as big as you possibly can, so that's what I did. You know, but I was kind of like a bear. I wasn't really like a martial arts, you know, guy all lean and ripped and everything like that. I could see the look on Chris's face, you know. He looked at me and it was like, oh, Christ, you know, what has this guy done? It was a moment of panic where I realized, oh, crap, you know. I took Chris at his exact word about get as big as you can, but he didn't really think I was going to get that big. A number of the crew I'd worked with on previous movies, they looked at me and they were like, bloody hell, Chris, what are we doing here, Fat Man or Batman? And so I realized, okay, that's not what he had meant, so I had to then try and lose a lot of weight.
We worked on his stamina and built his muscle tone so we could bring his body back up to being what it needed to be for Batman.
Christian showed extraordinary levels of self-discipline and dedication to the role to be able to do that. A lot of actors, when you start working with them, they'll say they're going to lose a bit of weight for the part or whatever, and the wardrobe people will kind of roll their eyes and go, yeah, sure, because they very often don't.
این بود 10 تا از جذابترین بازیگران مرد هالیوود که با هم دیدیم. شما اگه فیلم های دیگه از این بازیگران میشناسین واسه من و واسه بقیه درون کامنت بنویسید. یادتون نره لایک کنید و به دوستاتون معرفی کنید تا بازدیدان بره بالا. اگر از این ویدیو خوشتون اومده و دوست دارین بازم از این ویدیو داشته باشین تعداد لایک ها رو ببرید بالا. بازم ممنون ازتون. بدرود تا یه ویدیو دیگه.